Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High Yah. This is truly the day that Yah has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. I do hope that you're well and that you are truly rejoicing in Yah, the Elohim of your salvation. For He alone is worthy. He alone is worthy. He alone is worthy to be praised. If you are going to big up anyone, if you are going to brag on anyone, and if you are going to boast in anyone, my brothers, my sisters, let it be Yah. Because only Yah alone is worthy to be praised. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Isaiah 58:1 says, "Cry aloud, spare not. Lift up your voice like a shofar and show my people their transgression and the house of Jacob their sins." I came to cry aloud and spare not tonight. What I'm going to say to you is something I would have recorded this. This is my third time recording this. The other two times I recorded it in my car, and it didn't go the way I liked, because when you are, I was reacting. And after I re-listened, I was like, no, I wanted it to be, it was upsetting, but my reaction was not going to be very productive. It was just too much when I listened. So both times I had to delete it. So I said, let me sit down, and I wrote what I felt I should say. And then, so I said, let me now sit in my house, sit here, and speak it to you. So I am going to read what I've said, and at the end, I'm going to say something else, because something else came up in line with this. But it was a few weeks ago that I did 2 recordings regarding this topic, and it really bothered me, which is why I am going to speak on it. So I want to speak to my sisters of a more mature age. And I want to say to my sisters of a more mature age, leave the little boys alone. I want to speak to my sisters of a more mature age, maybe my age. Leave the little boys alone. Now that could tell you. So when I would have recorded this 2 times before, it was not appropriate. It wouldn't have represented what this channel is supposed to be about. So, but I was really bothered by it. Leave the little boys alone. Proverbs 11:22 says, "As a jewel of gold in a swine's snout, so is a fair woman without discretion." I'm going to read that again. As a jewel of gold in a swine's snout, so is a fair woman without discretion. You understand me? You putting gold in a swine's snout ain't gonna change him. That's still a pig. That's still a swine. Still nasty. Right? And so is a fair woman without discretion. Now, discretion, the Hebrew word for discretion is 2940 from H2938. Properly a taste, that is figuratively perception, by implication, intelligence, transitively a mandate, advice, behavior, discreet, judgment, reason, taste, understanding. As a jewel of gold and a swine's snout, so is a fair woman, a beautiful woman, without discretion. I want to speak to my sisters of a more mature age, and I'm saying to my sisters, leave the little boys alone. Okay? You could be more as beautiful. You could have on all your stuff, nails, highlighted. My mother, my grandmother used to say, cleanse your skin. Instead of bleaching, my grandmother used to say, you cleanse your skin. You have on all your long eyelashes, your eyebrows on fleek, they say, nails done, toes done, makeup on point. As a jewel of gold and a swine's snout, so is a fair woman without discretion. You understand me? Without good judgment, without reason, without taste, without understanding, without advice, and we can insert their good behavior, right? Why are sisters of a mature age having sexual relationships with boys in their 20s? And I am saying boy because he is really a boy to you. And I'm speaking of sisters who are in their 30s, 40s, and even 50s. Because believe it or not, there are females in their 50s who are having sexual relationship with boys in their 20s. Yeah, 50s. Like you sleeping with your son, right? A woman in her 30s. Now, it's a difference if you are 30 and the male may be 28, 29, 27. I don't know why a 30-year-old would want to date a young man who's 25, but someone that's 20, 21. And that seems to be the age bracket, 20, 21, maybe 22. Right? Young, impressionable, starting out. This is what's happening. Okay, so what had triggered me and what had me so bothered was that I saw a TikTok. Someone sent me a TikTok, and you may have seen it, with a female and a young male in the back. And the female is saying that she met the male when he was 21. About a year later, they had their first child. After having their second child, she found out that the male who she had the two babies with is her son that she gave away when he was an infant. When I watched that video, I still have it. I didn't even delete it. I watched it again. And I said, what this woman saying? And I watched it again. And you know, when she spoke, the young fella was there sitting down looking. And when she looked at him, he got up and he walked away. She had 2 children with a young male. Then she found out that he was her son that she gave away when he was an infant. Listen, that had me bothered. And so I recorded videos and I reacted. Because I've heard of other stories where mature women are having these relationships, sexual relationships with young men, males in their 20s. It seems to be 20 and 21-year-olds, right? Why are sisters of a more mature age having sex with males old enough to be their children? This female in the TikTok video, that male was old enough to be her child. It was her child. She gave him up for adoption. And I was so bothered by this video for so many reasons. Because can you imagine the state of the young man when he found out that not only was this woman his mother who gave him away, but he had 2 children with her. 2 children. Could you imagine what that must have done with his mind? Having to deal with that his 2 children are also his siblings. You understand me? You were already given up for adoption. That's something to deal with. Now you found a woman, but before you found out that she was your mother, you had 2 children with her. So he had to deal with the fact that he had sex with his mother and she got pregnant for him. You know, it was very troubling hearing that story. It was like, it was troubling. You understand me? I want to share some other headlines that we had in the news last year and one this year so far. And at the end, I'll share another one that came after I had written this up. I'm not going to assert it because that's an old enemy. Okay, female in 40s, this was last year, dragged her boyfriend who's in his 20s in her car. And the young male was very badly injured. They must have had a dispute. I don't know, he must be holding on. Anyway, but he was holding on to the car and she dragged him and must he mess up all his skin. You know, you get dragged in the car. Okay, second one. Boyfriend in 20s used the key to the home of his girlfriend who's in her 40s and killed the husband while he was asleep in their bedroom. Okay, a report was that the wife was in the shower at the time of the shooting and she said she heard nothing. The young male in his 20s used a key to get into their home, went into their bedroom and shut her husband who was sleeping. The husband was about 35. Now the woman was about 45, 44. Her husband, 35, and this little sweetheart was, I think, 21. I think he's 21. He's no older than 22. You see what I'm saying? You hear these stories. Boyfriend, this happened this year. This young man was like 21 or 22. Killed his girlfriend who was in her late 30s. I think she would have turned 38 around the time of her death. And he killed her and the daughter. Okay? And then I've heard of a situation where a woman in her 50s was having a relationship with a male in his 20s who had some kind of entanglement with another male. She in the midst, now she have these grown children, but she here getting herself all riled up with a young man in his 20s who have a triangular, her, him, and another male. At that age, why you want to be putting yourself through something like that? You done raised your 2 grown children. And now you want to get involved, but you could have your name and your character smeared by getting involved with a man in his 20s who having a relationship with another man. Let me tell you what I wanted to say today. Many of these young males have sexual perverted spirits because they get their idea of sex from pornography. You understand? There's a lot of sexual perversion and deviance going on. And the mature woman, you too. Because if you have absolutely see nothing wrong with you having a relationship with a child who could, a male who could be your child, then you have a sexual perverted spirit yourself. That's just like the star the other day and the two famous people who came out and said she had an entanglement with her son friend. When years ago, my children were very young. And I used to go to the wash house early in the morning, like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, while my children was asleep and the beat crowd was cool. There was a young man in the wash house. I knew his mother. She was a lecturer at the college when I was there. And I had taken out my clothes out of the dryer. And evidently I left some of the underclothes. Now, I don't know if he knew they were mine. But as you're in the washer, there's a table where you can fold up your clothes. So I'm folding up my clothes. He came and stood directly in front of me. Tall, nice looking young man. And in his hand was some of my underwear. And he is looking at me and just playing with that between his fingers and had this little funny smile on his face. I look at his face. I was like, what the hell, why is he smiling like that? It looked just so unclean. It looked perverted, like he was up to something. I don't know if he thought I was gonna respond to him and say, oh, that's my you understand what I'm saying? I don't know if he was looking for that. But I'm looking at his face. I said, this young man, because I remember when he was young and whatever, this little boy. And sweetie, I didn't say to him, I stood there and I said, child, I would not tell him they minds. Let him keep them. You understand me? And he there looking and he just playing with. And I said, look at this young man. Where I get this spirit from? And I didn't make him know why. So whether he knew it or not, I had no conversation with him. I said under him. I said, child, let him keep him because that didn't look right, what he was doing. You know? Okay. And many older females seem to think that when a young man flirting and coming on to you like that one they're doing at him, that is because they find you attractive. I don't know, maybe. But I didn't take it from him that attraction was not even in my thing. I saw a perversion. I saw a sexual perversion thing, and I was then embarrassed. And I wasn't even following that up. But some women obviously think when a young man come in making saying things to her, they find her attractive. I don't feel that way. I feel disrespected. Okay? And in my opinion, it's two lustful spirits attracting each other. And listen, I understand a grown woman experiencing loneliness. Right? But let me tell you what I've always said, and this is one of the things I said to myself. Don't allow your feeling of loneliness to cause you to get involved in a situation that's going to bring you down to a level that is really not a good reflection of you. You understand me? And there are a lot of females out there, mature females, who may be lonely. Getting involved with a younger man that could be your child is not the answer. Okay? Not the answer. Okay. All the females, you're putting yourself at a health risk because many of these young males are very promiscuous, and then they exploring. They involve these, a lot of these young people involved in all kind of things, all kind of sexual perversion. You understand me? It's like nothing is off limits. Because, and they are promiscuous and they're carrying STDs. And of course, a young man can get an STD from an older female, right? I was at an event and a young mother said that her son, 18, I think it was either 16 or 18, but he had gotten into a sexual relationship with an older woman and she gave him syphilis. You understand me? But I had here to read this verse to you. Because when I heard the story of the TikTok, the female who had the children with her son, this that came to me, 2 Timothy 3, 1-7. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemous, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, and contention, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of Yah, having a form of regard for Yah, but denying the power of Yah. From such turn away. For of this sort are they, you see, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, traitors, heady, lovers of pleasure. Of this sort, those kind of person, are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with diverse lust, heavy learning, and never able to come into the knowledge of the truth. When I heard that story, this is what came into my spirit. Having a form of regard for Yah, but denying the power of Yah, from such turn away. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away by divers lusts. So you have these mature women who think that the young man is attracted to you sexually. They find you attractive. What that is, it is two, like I said before, it's two lustful spirits. You as an older woman have a spirit of lust on you. Silly women, laden with sins, led away with your own lust. So you're attracting this young man who have a spirit of a perversion, sexual demon, a sexual spirit. And that's all that is. You understand me? That is all that is. And that's where my mind went when I listened to that TikTok. Silly women laden with sins. You're just led away by their own lust. Most male in their 20s are looking for a mature woman to take care of them financially. They're looking for a mother. I had a young man, very good looking, approach me as I walked to the bank a few years ago. I was not wearing my head covering daily then. As I walk out the bank, he must be waiting, looked like he did construction work. And he just started saying a pile of vulgar stuff to me. What he could do for me sexually. This and that and all that. And I kept walking. I felt embarrassed. Now listen, because I'm like, okay, hold on. What I wearing? Why this young man think he could come up to me saying this kind of stuff? And see, at that time, I was then self-conscious because I felt I was attracting a lot of sexual spirit men who was me. So, and I felt as if it was me. So I was asking, okay, I feel like a dog that like a piece of meat, like something going on with me. I took it personal. which led to me, believe it or not, starting to cover my head because a lot of stuff was seemed to be coming my way. You understand me? And it probably was being tested or tempted. I don't know, tested, tempting. But I was like, why this young man feel he could say these things to me? You know? And I quickly began to look at myself. I don't remember what I was wearing, but I always try to dress conservatively. You know. But I said, why do you think I'll be interested in this? I would be interested in this sexual talk from him, a stranger, don't know him. And I didn't engage him. I didn't say to him, boy, you want to let me, or hey, laugh. No, I ain't saying nothing. I continue walking to my car and being very aware and conscious that it had to be me. You understand? Because it wasn't the first time. This one went way out. But in our past, it was just young men who would come and want my phone number. One young man, he was so young. I looked at him and I asked him what school he went to because I remembered his face from a school. And when he told me, I said to him, when you were in grade 6, I was teaching grade 5 there. He didn't look embarrassed. He co-workers said, she was your teacher. I said, I didn't teach him specifically, but I was a teacher at the school. You know? So my thought was that these young men looking for someone to take care of me. I was like, child, the one who was talking, I said, child, I don't have no money to take care of you, child. I take care of my own children. I don't have time to raise nobody's son. You understand me? And it's like he was exchanging, he telling me all this stuff he could do, like he exchanging goods for service. I don't know. You understand me? But my thing was, why you think I can be interested in your services? So I question myself as to what signal I was sending out to attract young sexual men. I was concerned. Okay? So I didn't take it as, and if I was a silly woman thing, I would have been all, you're talking about it. Every real woman needs a real man. This is what I believe. A woman needs a man, a real man, a self-confident man, self-assured man. You understand me? A man that already have himself together. A man who can make decisions. You understand me? A man who is confident in himself, who can take care of business, who is able to protect you, a woman, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. A boy in his 20s cannot do that. A boy in his 20s is just looking for someone to help him up. Somehow, I guess his mother didn't do something. You understand me? And so now he's looking for another one to do with an exchange. He feels as if he 20-year-old self could satisfy her sexually. Now maybe some women would fall for that. They are, obviously. But 20-year-old, 20s? I ain't one of them, child. A real woman needs a real man to help make decisions, to have real adult conversation. What you and these 20-year-olds can talk about. You know? Adult conversation. You want companionship. Even if it doesn't involve sex. And what could a female in her 30s, 40, 50 possibly have in common with a 20 or 21-year-old, 22-year-old male? I don't know. Someone will have to tell me. What can you two possibly find in common to talk about? After a short while, the sexual novelty will wear off. And what will be left? Because obviously the only thing y'all can have in common is the sex. A younger male is going to use the older female, for sexual experience, and eventually he will find a female in his age set. So the only thing an older woman can do with a younger man is allow him to gain some experience off of her. But as for you as the female, what are you going to get from that? And at that age, you should have had sufficient sexual experiences. It's like something is lacking in these women of a more mature age. There seems to be a competition going on. Why is there competition between the mature woman and the younger female? Titus 2:3-5 said, the aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as is becoming in the fear of Yah, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the younger women to be sober, to love their men, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own man, that the word of Yah be not blasphemed. Where are the more mature sisters who are teaching the younger females? Today it appears that there are sisters of a more mature age who are competing with the younger females. More mature sisters are wearing much more revealing clothes, short and tight, cleavage exposed. There is absolutely nothing wrong with looking good as a mature woman. Nothing wrong with looking good, smelling good. You understand me? Having yourself together. Nothing wrong with that. You understand? And it is your choice if you want to wear your hair gray or not. I choose to wear mine. I always loved gray hair. From I was a little girl, I was fascinated when I saw women with their hair gray. I just thought it looked beautiful. So I'm grateful for mine. I saw a former co-worker, and she's more older than I am, and she's wondering, how come you get that? Where you get that from? Because she didn't have any. I was like, child, that's the father agrees with me, because he knew. From I was a little girl, I admired. Right now, if I see a woman with her hair gray, I just stand up and look, and I just think it's beautiful. Okay, so it's your choice. You could go and dye it if you don't like it. Many women is dye it. But when a mature woman wears certain revealing tight clothes, I believe it reduces the level of respect she would receive compared to if she had worn age-appropriate clothes. And I am seeing from experiences that I've been getting, especially since I've been covering my head, and I try to dress in a way because I want to track. If I'm going to track a man, it's going to be a certain kind of man. I don't need somebody who looking for flesh. That the only thing you can offer is sex. Mommy tell me young sex ain't something you gotta have. For quite some time, so I don't need a man just for sex. For quite some time, observing some sisters, it is as if they do not want to grow up. And I think that movie Stella, when Stella get her groove, still having an effect on some females. But that was a movie. They are still trying to hold to that sex appeal which makes them look like a wanton female. A male friend told me a story of how his fellow friend or whatever, co-worker, was sleeping with both the mommy and daughter. He was the daughter's boyfriend. But when he went to see the daughter, this was his story. The mother would always find somewhere for the daughter to go so she could be alone with the boyfriend. I think this is disgusting. This is the action of someone with no moral standard, conniving and deceitful. You understand me? She had to have been demonstrating some very loose seductive behavior for her daughter's boyfriend to even be so comfortable as to make sexual advancements or even comments. to her, the daughter's boyfriend. You're engaging in certain conversations that wouldn't be appropriate to engage in. And like I said, the young men can come at you and they can say certain things, but as a mature woman, you got to put them in their place. Let them know, no, no, no. You and my daughter, that's what used to happen years ago when I was growing up. I remember hearing women tell them, child, you and I ain't no company. Don't play with me. You got to go play with my daughter. You and I ain't no company. I remember hearing those comments. Of course, at that time, I wasn't aware of what was going on. But I remember the more mature woman saying that to if a younger man come laughing up or playing up with her. But today, how did we, sexual advancement, even comments, how did we go so low that our daughter's boyfriend can have sexual relations with us? Your daughter boyfriend? Sisters, what is going on? Once upon a time, when a young man gave an older woman a compliment, it was with respect, innocent admiration. And if it went too far, like I just said, he was quickly rebuked. You and I are no company. Go play with my daughter. I remember hearing women say that to the young men. But today it seemed to be welcome and even solicited by the woman of a more mature age, solicited in terms of the way she dressed. We have lost that motherly instinct. We did not want to be daughters of Sarah, it seems. We don't want to be daughters of Sarah. So we took on the character of Delilah, a seducing spirit. And also that spirit of Delilah can do, seduce a man and destroy him. You understand me? My religious studies lecturer in college said, I remember him saying this, that any man who married a woman who is older than him is asking for problems because a female is 5 years more advanced than a man, biologically. He said that the man who did that must have been looking for a mother. You understand? There are women who married a man few years younger than she, and at times she's frustrated because the leadership abilities that she need and expect him to have is not there because mentally he's not to that level. You understand me? And if you as a mature woman want to marry a man that you and you're 45 and he 40 whatever, you understand me? It's happening. Women who are 55 marrying men who are probably 45, they're still a mature man. But I'm talking about you being with someone in their 20s. And I know of situations where a mature woman or older woman married a man, even if he was 5 or 10 years younger, having most problems. Most problems. Because a woman naturally wants a man to lead. And it seems as if when a woman gets involved with a younger man, he's looking for her to take that role. You understand me? And after a while, even women who see and controlling, you get tired of that, because I think it's a natural built-in instinct for us to want a man that's going to lead us. We are in a male crisis right now. A crisis. Right now, we can have up to 2 males killed per day here in the Bahamas who are not being killed or going to jail. And when they go to jail and come on bail, someone is killing them. And the remainder of them seem to be into alternative lifestyles. We have so many men who are on the DL, even married men. So many are effeminate. So if the more mature women are messing with the the few heterosexual males left, who's going to be there to marry your daughter and your granddaughter? And the thing about it is, when you don't get through as a more mature woman, messing with them sexually, all you doing is destroying their character. You're giving them a wrong impression of what sex and relationship and commitment is. And sometimes you're leaving them bitter and broken. You understand? Women of a more mature age, leave the little boys alone. Go back to practicing good morals and decency. Go back to having respect, self-respect, and class. Go back to the days when the little boy come up to you or the young man come up to you and want to say, ooh, and laughing up, but you tell him, no. You and I no company. Go and play with my daughters. Even now, on my job, when I see them try, I say good afternoon. And in my head, I'm saying, child, where your daddy? Where your daddy? You understand? That's what I'm looking at them and saying, child, not me, I know one. Where your daddy? Right? We need to practice discretion as women of a more mature age. Because we should be teaching all these young females out here. Some of them just it is so sad what is going on even with some of the females. Like they don't have no self-value, no self-worth. You understand me? Right here. I think I didn't close this window. Young women just allowing these men to just, it's so sad. Treat them so poorly. You understand me? You could come to a man's house 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the night, knocking on his door. He refused to answer to you, but you still coming. And I'm like, if he opened the door for you after you done been and he come and he didn't answer the first time you come back, would you still allow him to have sexual relations with you? This is the kind of things these females are doing. And so we as more mature women, we need to be there to teach these young women how to value themselves. Because a lot of these young women today don't have no self-worth. They don't have no value. You understand me? You have a man treating you like that and you can still let him have sex. Some of these relationships, listen here, we need to practice discretion. Some of these relationships seems like pedophilia type behavior. That relationship with that woman who had sex with the young man and he turned out that it was her child, you have pedophile tendencies, women. You women who especially those in your 40s and 50s who dating a young man in his 20 and 21, yeah, you have pedophile tendency because that could be your child. There is absolutely nothing wrong with a mature woman looking good, getting older gracefully. Aging is a choice. We don't have to age. We can't stop the years. We can't stop time. But we can get older gracefully with self-respect, with integrity. We need mature women out here, who can exercise some self-respect, self-control, and some integrity. Our young people are, oh my goodness, Father have mercy. Our young people in trouble. Do you hear me? When I go out and I'm standing up watching, I was like, what is this? What happened? And we out here, the young women, the older women out here sleeping with the little boys. We are adding to the problem, destroying these young people. So we can get older gracefully, not losing our self-respect for a few minutes of lustful pleasure with males who can be our sons. It is out of order. It is indecent. It is immoral. And it needs to stop. It needs to stop because we are adding women of a more mature age who is engaging in these behaviors, these relationships. You are adding to the problem. You are part of the problem why a lot of our young men are so off-focused and so bitter and have the wrong perception of what a relationship should be. Instead of you telling him, listen, your job is to go out there, better yourself, get yourself a skill, a good trade, a good job, so that you can be able to take care of your family. But no, you all out here want to be sleeping with these little boys. Let me tell you, I want to read to you. Like I said, this is the third time. It wasn't this calm. I went over the edge on the others. But last week, I think on the 17th or the 18th, this came into the news. Nassau, Bahamas, a 36-year-old woman, I'm reading the news release, from Andros, was charged yesterday with allegedly sexually abusing a teen schoolboy. It gives her name of Mango Key, was accused of engaging in sexual activity with the 13-year-old boy sometime last month. She's also accused of indecently assaulting the child between April 23rd and May 6th of this year. She wasn't required to enter a plea to charges of unlawful sexual intercourse and indecent assault. She appears before the magistrate and was denied bail. She returns to court on September 11 for the service of a voluntary bail-up indictment. So when that break, I was like, Father, what is this? What is going on? 36 years old now, I'm a 13-year-old. The lady who got killed was 38 and her boyfriend was 21 or 22. This one is 36 and having sex with a 13-year-old. Pedophile. You know what disturbed me about this? Because see, I had already prepared this, and like I said, I already recorded it twice before. But when it comes to, I read my poem about pedophile, we focus on the males because it's predominantly male. We say predominantly because very seldom a woman is charged with pedophilia, or sleeping with a child. But I found out after this incident came to the news, that this is common. This is common. Women sleeping with these. It seems to be common and natural for a young man to lose his virginity to an older woman. Apparently, there's been comments even from males who were saying, oh, he should be happy. A mature woman, an older woman was interested in him. And I understand there were some males who said if it was his son, he would not have reported it. But the reason I understand it got reported based on the advocacy chat that I'm group I'm in is because she gave him an STD. And he got sick. That's how they found out. He got sick. And that's how it was the parents or whoever was able to find out and charges was pressed against him. So if he didn't get sick, no one would have known. You understand me? And this thing seems to be prevalent, seems to be common, where you have older women are sleeping with young boys. Even this was a shocker to me. This was like, Father, what the hell? What is going on in this country? A 13-year-old, a 36-year-old woman with a 13-year-old. And I was here upset that a woman and they was sleeping with a 20 and 21-year-old, and now they hear that they going as young as 13. Teenagers. You understand? Listen to me. Shouldn't be. You understand me? And the thing, women, mothers, you're supposed to be a mother. You're supposed to be teaching this a child, these young people. showing them the right way on how to have healthy, decent relationships, and you here having sex with them. None, you're perverted. But listen to me. I put on Facebook, all you old women out there who run and sleeping with these little boys, you ain't nothing but a nasty, dirty pedophile. That's what I put on Facebook. You understand me? All you older women out there who are around and sleep on these underage boys, you ain't nothing but a nasty, dirty pedophile. Listen here, you women of a more mature age, leave those little boys alone. Allow them to develop and grow and mature to be good, decent men for your daughters and granddaughters. You understand? Because what you're doing now, you just adding to the problem of relationship issues. That's why so many of these mature men now can't relate good to women. And their only perception of a woman is sex. They think everything is about the sex. You understand? Y'all are just ruining these young men. And as a result, ruining these older men. Because this is why some of these older men right now, they are all to them, everything, just sex, sex, sex. Because that was how they were introduced. They were initiated. That's the impression they got. A woman is just there to have sex. It is a disgrace what is happening, and I just had to speak about it. I had to speak about it. And I thank the Father that I have this channel here that I can speak about it. But listen, I did. I go on and make a TikTok. So on the TikTok thing, yeah, I said some stuff that I probably wouldn't have said here. I didn't curse or anything. I don't, you know what I'm saying? But, well, I did say you're nasty. Dirty, nasty pedophile. You understand? But I sit here trying to be more calm with this. So I wouldn't have really said some things that I said in the videos that I deleted. You understand? Because I was really upset. So it really came off, after I listened to it, it came off real bad. You know? Really upset because this is upsetting. God was upsetting, but hearing this with the 13-year-old, shouldn't be. It's totally unacceptable. This is something we should cry out against. You understand me? We are in a male crisis right now in this country and even probably around the world. And having older women with these Delilah spirits going after these and feeling with these young men, you are adding to the problem. You understand me? And this is probably why we can't get nothing done and we can't get the support when we out here calling out against pedophiles. You can't get women because I guess so many of the women are pedophiles. But it seems to be accepted. It seems to be more accepted for a woman to be a pedophile than a man. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. You understand me? And this is why this is where we are. And this is where the sexual immorality is on the increase. Because you have both grown man and woman, everybody doing the same thing. Everyone seems to be taking advantage of these children. But I pray that the Most High deal with y'all. That's what I pray. I pray that the Most High deal with y'all because y'all are ruining these children and you're ruining the chances of healthy relationships. You understand me? But I just pray that the Most High deal with y'all. Anyway, I just wanted to say, y'all women of a more mature age, and I being polite, because that wasn't what I said in the first video. You women of a more mature age, leave the little boys alone and go find yourself a mature man. Right? That's what I wanted to say. Shalom.